Yay! Welcome. I am Jody Jean Daniels, and this is my channel, Just Right. I am the author of the thrilling mystery series, The Team of Eight, currently consisting of 3 books that have received acclaim: The Ledger, The Replica, and The Stolen. You can get them on Amazon, Barnes& and Nobles, BookBub, Smashwords, and all the other usual suspects. I will put the link down below where you can get those. If you would want to pick them up, that would be great. If you would like to support me, you could subscribe. I would appreciate that greatly. And comment and just interact as much as possible. I love that. So today's video is on a topic that I wish there had been out there when I started my journey back in 2021. So, for someone looking in the window at being an author, it can seem like a very romantic and exciting job. And while that can be true, sometimes it's really lonely and it's not always easy. Some days are harder than others, and I think for me it's hard to stay motivated sometimes. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, I can't. So remember that every writer's journey is unique and deserves celebration. We're going to talk about celebration a lot throughout this series. This is, I think, video 3 in the Big Picture series. And I keep going back to celebrating every little thing, and it does help keep you motivated. Now, embracing your unique voice. Every author's perspective is valuable and irreplaceable. So think about it like this: no one has ever lived your life. Only you have. And people say all the time, what is that? Oh, we've all been in the same boat. No, we haven't. We've not all been in the same boat. We might have been in the same part of the ocean, but what the boat looks like is dramatically different from person to person. So think about that with your story. Your voice is something that only you can bring to the world, and that's a gift. So part of the problem, I think, with finding your voice is you and I can fall into the comparison trap. And we see other writers who seem to have it all figured out, their style, their success, their confidence, and we start to question our own worth. But here's the truth: comparing yourself to others is like trying to measure your worth, like comparing apples to oranges, because again, every writer's journey is different, and so are our voices. So instead of comparing, I want you to celebrate your individuality. Lean into what makes you you. Maybe it's your cultural background. Maybe it's a personal experience. Or maybe it's even the way you see the beauty in the mundane. I know my granddaughter can find beauty in a blade of grass. So maybe you're like her and you can do that. So whatever it is, that individuality is not a weakness. That is your greatest strength. So use it. Now, the power of starting. I know sometimes I have a little something in my eye, so let me just touch that, get that going. There we go. Starting can be a challenge because fear of failure and self-doubt can hold us back. But it's also important to take that step, because once you start, that transforms the idea into an action. And just kind of forget perfection. Don't worry about that, because each word you write is progress towards your goal. So I'm going to give you 3 tips on how to get started right now, today. 1, set a tiny goal. Write 1 sentence, start a timer for 5 minutes, and then once you begin, let that momentum take over and see if you end up writing a little bit longer than that. Create a routine, or in the same You can write at the same time, you can write at the same place, but building that daily habit is going to help you build consistency, and it's going to make it feel natural and not forced. And then visualize your end game. Number three, visualize your end game. Picture your finished book and the joy of what that's going to be like when you share it with your family, your friends, your readers, and let that vision inspire you to take the first step. Or maybe even take that today. So, overcoming self doubt as a writer is acknowledging that it's a natural part of the creative process. Even the most successful authors experience moments of doubt. The key is to not let it stop you, but to keep going and to move past it. And here's 5 ways that you can move past your self doubt. I really feel like it helps. Recognize your inner critic. Identify when that self doubt is creeping in. And instead of letting it like dominate you, acknowledge it, but don't give it any power. 2, focus on progress, not perfection. Okay? Remember that this first draft, it's meant to be a mess. And its purpose is to get the idea and the characters and the story out of your head and out. That's all. That's all it's meant for. So give yourself permission to just write badly with the knowledge you know you're going to make it better. 3, again, celebrate. Celebrate the small wins. Okay? Look back and look at how far you've come. You finished a paragraph. That's a win. You wrote a chapter. That's huge. Acknowledge these victories to counter that self doubt and prove that you are progressing. Surround yourself with support. Connect with other writers who understand what you're going through. Join writing groups, find beta readers, talk to friends that you know that will cheer you on. Okay? Number 5, remember your why. Go back to the reason you started writing, whether it's to tell a story, share a message, fulfill a dream. Keeping your why front and center will silence your self doubt. It may never go away completely, but with these strategies, you can learn to write despite it. The beauty of the process. The beauty of writing, the process lies in the journey and not the finished product. It's about everything that happens along the way. Writing is deeply creative and personal, and it's a transformative experience. And every step has its own magic. Writing is magic. Brainstorming is where the possibilities are endless. You get to dream, build the world, explore ideas. It's just like when you're a little kid, it's just that pure imagination again. And then when you're drafting, it's where your vision is coming to life. Yeah, it's messy and imperfect, but that's okay. That's what makes it exciting. You're laying that foundation. You're turning ideas into tangible words. And then revising. Revising is where the real magic happens. It's about refining your story, adding the depth, and polishing it into something that you're proud of. And this step is where you're committed to making the story the best that it can be. So each phase deserves celebration. Brainstorming, drafting, revising. Writing isn't just about reaching the end. It's about embracing every step and growing with each word you write. Learning from rejection. Yeah, guys, rejection, it's hard. It's really hard. Rejections and failures, they are an inevitable part of every writer's journey. They've been part of mine. I know they've been part of yours, but they're far from the end of the road. In fact, some of the most powerful teachers you will ever have will be from somewhere that you have failed, somewhere where you've made a huge mistake, or it just didn't work out the way you wanted. And when those times happen, it's discouraging. And when your work isn't accepted or when things don't go as planned, it can sting. And failure can feel overwhelming. I will admit that. I have went through that door many a time where it's like, okay, you know, I'm done. I'm done. Why put all this work in and, really get nothing in return, but, and you just feel so down. But then I remember that those failures and those comments, they don't define my talent or my potential, and they don't do that for you either. They're not a reflection of your worth as a writer. They're stepping stones toward growth. So, rejections and failures to me are proof that I'm putting myself out there. We're taking risk. We are daring to share our voice with the world, and each no is an opportunity to learn and refine and improve. So, sometimes it can mean that your story isn't the right fit for that moment or that reader or that publisher, but it is not that it lacks value. So instead of fearing rejection, embrace it as part of the process. Use it as fuel for your determination. Sharpen your skills because failure is not the opposite of success. It is a vital step toward it. Inspiration in every day. Okay, these are the top 10 ways that I have found to find inspiration every day. Um, Conversations. Now, this one might be a little creepy because it involves a little bit of eavesdropping and being a snooper, but just overhearing a snippet of, dialogue at a coffee shop or an interaction between two people when you're just out and about, you can use those moments and use the tone they had or the phrasing to spark an authentic exchange between two of your characters. Number two, go out and observe people. Go to the mall, people watch. Watch how people interact, like from a mother and father parenting, comforting a child to friends, sharing and laughing. And then the important thing about it is to notice their body language, facial expressions, or their mannerisms, because that's again another way that you can enrich your characters. I like to go on nature walks, which mainly these days has been just around here at the farm, walking out into the pasture, looking up at the sky, seeing how it changes colors and using all those sensory details to create like vivid settings or even metaphors for personal experiences. Think back to an impactful moment from your own life, like a challenge, a triumph, a lesson learned, and then you can take that and infuse that emotion that you remember into your own story to make it more relatable. Five daily routines. Finding inspiration in the like mundane, the simplest things, like you're waiting in line, you're cooking a meal. It's a way that you can kind of imagine the stories of the people you encounter throughout your day, or just how your character might go throughout their day. And then dreams and daydreams. I have a really good friend who keeps a notebook by her bed to jot down dreams and thoughts and stuff. And I daydream a lot. I really do. So I'll just kind of like float off. And I like to use imagery and surreal ideas to kind of add depth to my storytelling because my daydreams kind of that's where they take me. The seventh way is I know this is hard for some people. If it's triggering, don't do it. But news headlines, you can read news headlines for like real life drama, triumph, and tragedies. And you can use those current events to explore themes of resilience, justice, humanity, and then infuse that into your own writing. You can go to cultural events, attend festivals, theater productions, or local markets even. I know going to the farmers market here in my little town, it's always fun. And it's always fun to observe how people kind of celebrate and create and connect. And then I incorporate those moments into my story, and you can too. Looking through old photographs, look through family albums or even historical photos if you don't have access to any old family photos. And then imagine the story behind the face, the setting, the moment, the captured in time, and then you can, again, infuse that into your story. At this point, we're trying to see how many times I can actually say infused. 10, the final one, music and art. This is a huge one. We were talking about this yesterday during the marathon on AuthorTube. I think it was during Esther's sprint. And we just talking about music and the themes and what we, listen to when we're writing. So you can listen to a song or you could even visit like an art gallery, but the emotion that you feel when you are listening to different songs, different music, and when you're looking at artwork, they will inspire scenes and themes in your work like nothing else. So every day is filled with potential stories and they're waiting for you to discover them. But I think the main thing is you have to keep that curious mind and just be observant. Be observant because inspiration is everywhere and it's just waiting for you to see it and use it. Building a support system. We touched on this earlier, but building a support system is invaluable for authors because writing, while fulfilling, it can feel isolating. A strong community provides a connection and encouragement and motivation when you need it most. For instance, for me, for being part of AuthorTube, I have found that community just so wonderful. Between AuthorTube and Hardy's and my whiskeys, they're all just such unique and dynamic spaces. And it's just all writers of all levels come together and having that support system and knowing that I can reach out to other writers is huge for me because number one, the shared experiences. When you're writing and you're feeling that doubt and the rejection, it's easier when you're not alone. When you know that you have other people out there that went through the same thing you've went through and they can kind of talk you through it. And then all the learning opportunities. Um, these communities like AuthorTube and Hardy's and My Whiskies are just it's just the perspectives. There's so many diverse perspectives, the tips, the resources other authors have and can give you, and that you can give them. And the advice is that I really feel like there's always something new to learn. Always. Like I learned some things the other night in our critique group that I had just never, and I've been writing for a while, you guys, and I went to school for it and all that kind of good stuff. And I was just like, oh, wow, I've never thought of it that way. Never thought of that way. So you're going to learn a lot. And the accountability, too, being part of number three is accountability. Being part of a group, it keeps you accountable for your writing goals. Challenges like the write-a-thons that we're in right now, or the virtual writing retreat that's coming up today and Saturday and Sunday for the Hardys, which I'm hosting for that. Um, it's amazing how that will help keep you on track and keep you motivated. And I think four is the feedback and the critique. Like I said, I've started going to critique groups and they are invaluable. Invaluable. The one that I've really enjoyed going to, other than with my whiskeys, has been oh, I can't think of his Kaufman. His name is Kaufman, and the name of his channel is Right Now. And it is amazing. They are such good people out there, guys. You just have to look and find them because they understand you and they can help you improve your story and your skills. And they are so encouraging. Number five, encouragement. During tough times, your community can cheer you on and remind you of why you started writing in the first place. I mean, and then you've got the opportunity for collabs with other writers. That is just the best and funnest thing to do. And that's the reason I want to start the podcast and I want to start interviewing authors. I just think that will be so much fun. Plus, we'll be able to cross promote each other through our platforms and help reach new audiences that maybe we haven't reached before. And number seven, I have such a belonging now. I have a sense of belonging because our communities are just, they're a space where I feel so understood and valued and celebrated. And I really feel like your support system becomes more than just a network. It's a lifeline that fuels your creativity and it helps you navigate challenges and it reminds you that the journey doesn't have to be walked alone. So I really suggest you joining one of these writers groups. They are amazing. Um, you might not get as lucky as me and fall into one, but if I could suggest any of them to you, it would be Sarah Cannon's Heart Breathings, my whiskey community, my Just Right community, and Kaufman's Right Now community. They are loving, supportive, and safe places to be. The value of persistence. Okay. Persistence is one of the most important qualities an author can have. Writing is so full of challenges from battling the self-doubt, the rejections, and the roadblocks. So persistence is what keeps you moving forward even when it's tough. So I find that why it is most important is because number one, writing takes time. Great stories are not written overnight. They require drafts and revisions and countless hours of effort. Persistence ensures you stay committed to the process no matter how long it takes. Two, overcoming obstacles. All of us face moments of doubt and rejection and frustration, and the persistence is the ability to push through that challenge and know that it's part of the journey and not the end. Three, growth comes from practice. Writing regularly, even when it's difficult, helps you grow as an author. Persistence allows you to improve your craft, refine your voice, and develop the discipline you need to succeed. So, again, how to stay persistent? Told you before, small, achievable goals. Focus on writing daily or weekly, even if it's just a few words. Celebrate! That's a recurring theme, right, guys? Celebrate milestones. Acknowledge every draft, revision, or submission as a win. Three, remember your why. We've talked about that, right? Revision the reason you started writing. What is your passion? It, reignite it if it's out. You've got to do that. And then finally learn from setbacks because rejection and critiques, they are opportunities for growth. They are not reasons for you to stop writing. So persistence doesn't mean that you'll never face a challenge again. It means that you have decided in your heart and your mind that you are going to keep going despite of them. So celebrate your success. Okay, I know I've been saying this, but now here's 5 ways you can celebrate big or small. Okay, one, share the news. Announce your achievements to your community on social media, your blog, through an email, a newsletter. Celebrate the milestones like finishing a draft, you receive positive feedback, you hit your publication date. Just always just let your community know what's going on too, because they're your biggest cheerleaders. Treat yourself. Reward yourself with something special, a favorite meal, a new book, or even a day off. And like for a big accomplishment, you consider, buying a meaningful keepsake, like a framed copy of your book cover maybe, or a personalized pen, something really nice that like every time you look at it, you're going to remember, oh, this is because of XYZ. I got this because of this. Or number three, you could host a mini celebration. This is my favorite, where you just kind of organize a little get together with some of your friends and your families, and you can kind of theme the party by your story and, just have like a casual dinner. Or if, you can't get together, then maybe a virtual meetup where it's themed. Four is reflect on your journey. And this is kind of that personal moment where you journal about your success, what it means to you, how you overcome challenges, and just how things went along the way. I like sitting down and doing that too. And then five, my favorite. I know I've already said they're all my favorites. Give back. Share your knowledge and experience with others by mentoring a new writer in like a Q&A. You could also donate books to a school or library. Celebrate by inspiring others to pursue their dreams. So, celebrating success, no matter the size, it is a way to acknowledge your hard work and keep that momentum and motivation alive. Each step forward that you are taking is worth honoring. Okay, conclusion and call to action. Okay, my fellow storytellers, it is time to take all this inspiration and turn it into action. Remember that your voice matters, your story's waiting. There's no better moment than now to just write. So here's your mission, should you choose to accept it. Pick up that pen or that laptop. You can write one sentence, one paragraph, or even brainstorm your idea. Remember that every great story starts with someone daring to take the first step, and that someone can be you. So go unleash your creativity, embrace the journey, and just write. The world is ready for your story, and I cannot wait to see what you create. So let's make the magic happen, one word at a time. And you know what I'm going to say before I say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. I may not be everybody's cup of tea, but I'm a really awesome group of people's double shot of whiskey. And I'm so happy and so proud that you come and hang out with me and that you find me just right. I love you guys. Have a great day. I will see you at the virtual writing retreat on Friday afternoon from 3 to 5. I will see you on Saturday at the virtual writing retreat from 3 to 5. And I will see you Monday for our normal Hearties and Whiskeys live stream at 8 p.m. Eastern over on my channel here, Just Right. I love you guys. Mwah, mwah. Bye.